I love learning about lesser-known characters in the scriptures, people like Jehoshaphat in the Old Testament, or the powerful New Testament women Joanna or Lydia. We can learn so much from each of these individuals. Today I want to talk about a lesser-known hero from the Book of Mormon. His name is Com. Have you ever heard of him? He's the great-great-great-great-grandfather of Ether. Let's find out more about his life and what lessons he has to teach us. Com lived approximately 150 years before the destruction of the Jaredite nation. His early life was difficult. His ancestor had been a king, but had been taken captive. So for generations, Com's forebears had spent their whole lives in captivity. The scriptures don't tell us all of the details, but Com was eventually able to break out of captivity and reclaim his kingship. Initially over half the kingdom, and finally over the entire Jaredite kingdom. What an incredible military accomplishment. There is no doubt that Com fought hard and fought smart. But Com's problems weren't over. In Ether chapter 10, verse 33, we read that in the days of Com, there began to be robbers in the land, and they adopted the old plans and administered oaths after the manner of the ancients and sought again to destroy the kingdom. Poor Com, born into captivity, works his whole life to reclaim his kingdom, and now secret combinations threaten to destroy everything he has created. The next verse teaches a powerful principle that I hope you and I will remember. Now Com did fight against them much. Nevertheless, he did not prevail against them. Wow, that is not the kind of verse we normally like to read, is it? I don't know about you, but I prefer the verse which says, "And it came to pass that there was a huge miracle." But that's not what happened. Com was a strong man, a great fighter who worked much to defeat the robbers, but he did not prevail. One important lesson we can learn from Com is that even when we do everything in our control, sometimes we will fail. You and I might have a righteous cause, work hard to make everything go well, and still not prevail. When this occurs, we can follow Com's example by continuing to press forward with faith. Ultimately, God will prevail. But notice that it's God who prevails. You and I can take comfort in that fact. We can have confidence in the Lord's eventual success, even if, in the meantime, you and I are not always victorious. Now let's keep learning about Com. In Ether chapter 11, verses 1 and 2, we read, "There came also in the days of Com many prophets, and prophesied of the destruction of that great people, except they should repent and turn unto the Lord, and forsake their murders and wickedness. And it came to pass that the prophets were rejected by the people, and they fled unto Com for protection, for the people sought to destroy them." That tells us something important about Com. Even though many things were not working out for him, he still sustained the prophets. He didn't turn his back on God, and he didn't grow bitter because of the disappointments in his life. As you and I face our own failures, we can, like Com, embrace the prophets and learn from them. In fact, we read that the prophets prophesied unto Com many things, and he was blessed in all the remainder of his days. I love a happy ending. So let's recap Com's story. Born in captivity, breaks free, becomes king over a huge kingdom, threatened by secret societies, fights hard against them, but doesn't prevail. Even though he failed in this last area, he listened to the prophets and was blessed. To me, Com is so real. He's like you and me. He faced difficulties in his life. He worked hard and overcame some of his challenges. But in others, even some of his righteous desires, he failed. But that's okay. It's okay to try hard and fail. Com is one example of many lesser-known scriptural heroes who can teach us important spiritual lessons. Across the centuries, Com tells us, work hard and don't give up, even if you fail. Listen to the prophets, keep moving forward, and ultimately you will be blessed. I hope you and I can follow Com's example by faithfully pressing on through both failures and triumphs, and as a result, come closer to Jesus Christ. Click the link in the description or follow me on Instagram to learn more lessons from lesser-known people in the scriptures.